Hello, and welcome back to Great Dane Films here on Twitch. I'm your host, Dane Hennon, who you probably already knew, but let's go ahead and bring this music down a little bit. Bam, just like that, it is gone. Okay, I'm gonna kick it over to full screen. Say hello to the camera. Hi there. I'm adjusting this mic because I've been having a little bit of, working with it, trying to get it into a good spot, but it seems to kind of find a way of its own getting around. Anyway, hello, nice to see you there. Hopefully I can get a few more folks joining in. I didn't give anybody a heads up that I'd be doing this stream, but I figured more people just want me coming in on the weekend, catching up, doing stuff, so nice to see you there. And yeah, just doing a little quick one today, because, well, at 6 o'clock, I've actually got to meet Jimmy and Anthony down the road. We are going to be shooting the new car reveal for Anthony's YouTube channel that he still swears doesn't exist, despite 125,000 plus people following it. So, we got a job to do, but that'll be fun. I really look forward to being the wheelman for that situation, while Jimmy gets his shots in. So, yeah, I might find a way to potentially stream some of that somehow, maybe some way, but chances are I'm not going to show you the car, though, because Anthony really wants to make that a special surprise, and he knows that his audience is going to love it. So I don't want to blow up his spot there, but I may find a way to stream just like, from my perspective, so that you can just kind of see what we're doing to get the shots and stuff without actually showing the car. You might hear it, but you won't see it unless you happen to catch like a reflection or something. At least that's my hope. Maybe I won't stream it at all. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, just figured I've got myself about an hour and 20 minutes or so that I can stream here before I've got to go and do that. So I thought I would kind of bounce through a few different YouTube videos, just kind of check out, see how things are going. I also kind of wanted to do this as a little bit of a test to see how many people show up if I don't actually go and promote this, around on Facebook or on Instagram, those places. If I just operate purely on Twitch's own notifications, and of course, those watching, if you don't mind sharing this out amongst, more people, that obviously helps too. But yeah, I'm just kind of doing it as a little bit of an experiment. And if stuff falls short, then I'll know that Twitch notifications aren't particularly good. Okay, now that we got that out of the way, we can go ahead and proceed on to what's new. So, what is new that I actually got a chance to appear on Jamie the Cleaner's podcast, The Cleaner Cast, and yeah, it was pretty fun. I guess I count as part of the Rag Company Part 1 there because, I guess I'm employee number 1 of TRC as people know it today. So I actually go into detail about the history of it and, some interesting stuff from the past there. It was actually a lot of fun. I really enjoyed talking with Jamie and Alex. So shout out to those guys. I know if they had gotten notifications, they'd be here right now, most likely, because they are very ardent supporters, and I love that. So thank you if you're watching this sometime in the future, Jamie and Alex. I'll let you know about it after this happens, because I'm committed to this idea that I have to, let Twitch figure out who to notify. Just for this stream, though. Just as a test. So, yeah, make sure you go and check out Jamie the Cleaner's YouTube channel. I'm going to go ahead and pull it. Hey, Ugadala, you got a notification, so that's a good sign. Then that means I've got 1 or 2 people who've at least gotten notified. It's a start. I'm going to go ahead and pull up my React screen here. Just like that. So you can see down on the bottom left here, you can see the title, and then below that you see Jamie the Cleaner. That's Jamie the Cleaner's channel. You should go check it out on YouTube. He does these interviews with people from around the detailing industry, a place I happen to know very well nowadays. But yeah, I guess I'm a part of that, whether I want to be or not. It's just kind of turned out that way. But no, nice to see a few people getting in here, getting their notifications from Twitch. So I guess it's kind of working. But yeah, I didn't give anybody else a heads up, so I'm operating purely at the mercy of Twitch. We'll see if that progress continues or if it just kind of sputters out. Anyway, I was on here with Jamie and Alex, and I'll go ahead and play a little bit here, just give you a taste.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Cleaner Cast. As you know, we are live on YouTube every Friday at 6 Central. So if you want to come join live, if you're listening to us in podcast form, then come on over to YouTube, like, subscribe, all that good stuff, and tune in every Friday, 6 Central. And as you know, we're available in podcast form on Anchor, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. Be sure to subscribe, rate, and review. We're running the clock on this one. We only have Mr. Dane Hennon for a short time, so let's go ahead and introduce my Canadian cohort. He is Mr. Alex.
I just needed a haircut. That's all. They caught me at the time I needed to.
Hello, everybody, and I'm gonna say.
Oh, look at that! I got Scott here. I got Dan here. Nice to see. I got a few more people showing up, so clearly a few people were listening. Nice. Twitch is notifying people, although it says I only got 2 people in here. I'm seeing more than 2 people commenting, so I'm just kind of wondering what's going on there. Either way, though, it's nice to see y'all. I'm glad you are here. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and there we go. There's some comments showing up. I was just kind of giving these guys a little bit of a taste of the podcast that I did with Jamie and Alex yesterday. Basically, it was just kind of a fun little rehash of the history of TRC, something that I am basically like the historian on now, which I tend to get lost in the details. So it's definitely a challenge to tell a clear-cut story about how stuff happens, because there's so many like little fringe details that I like to pick up on and point out to people. Not everybody's into that, so I get maybe I'm not for everybody on that front, but for those who do appreciate it, I appreciate that you appreciate that. So yeah, basically just a chat between us, but I'll bounce around to a few different spots, and then at the end they actually managed to plug this channel, which I find so funny. But yeah, no, go check out Jamie the Cleaner's channel, where he's got the Cleaner Cast, complete with Alex there, aka Bucky VW, as you see him here in the chat, on my channel. So yeah, make sure you give those guys a shout and a follow on YouTube if you haven't done so already, and go check out this interview. I'm just going to show you a few bits and pieces, but I really think it's worth watching the whole thing, because it's not very long, and also they've got the podcast out too, so you can actually listen to it audio form, so you don't have to be watching it. You can just have it on in the background if you're, I don't know, cooking dinner or working out or driving on your commute or something like that. So, typical podcasty plug things, but I want to make sure these guys get support too, because I really like them. All right, so moving along here, I will go ahead and just watch a few little bits.
Say it right now, that was probably my favorite intro clip ever.
Indeed.
That should deserve a 5-star review from all you people watching us. So
yes, if you're just listening, you gotta come over and watch. Yep. So you had a good week this week.
Very good. Yep. It was a lot of rain here, but also some humidity attached to that with the hotter days. But
day. This is kind of an oddball, but a family friend of theirs also knew this Beth and Dale.
See Alex antagonizing with the Dane Gets Foam thing again. I don't need that. I don't need that.
This business, it's based in their garage. They sell microfiber towels. That's basically the extent of it. It is not a whole lot else, explained there, other than they sell towels, which is like, okay, cleaning supplies, interesting, I guess. Right. But it's something. It's a business, and they're in a position where they're looking at just dropping it, retiring, that kind of thing. But Bev, she really cared about it and didn't want to give it to just anybody. They were trying to offer it to family and friends. Nobody wanted it, because if you saw it in its state when I first saw it, which I was like the first boots on the ground that wasn't them, like going and checking it out, like scouting for us. I literally decided to go and job shadow. So I spent a week with Dale, because the reason for this was Bev found herself in hospice.
Mm,
She was in a position where she had some accelerated condition that was limiting her ability to do a lot of things. She
mhm.
sounded good over the phone, but physically it was really taking a toll, and she wasn't able to do this stuff. And the stress was building.
Yeah, that was big stuff there, but you gotta watch the interview to hear like the full reasoning behind all that stuff too. If it'll load here, dang it. Also nice to see you too, Dan. Come on now. My internet suddenly being very, very slow.
And I thought, but a lot of these places have like basically gatekeepers that keep you as a business from getting in there. You can't get in because you either got to pay their vendor fees and go through that way. Well, we were tiny, like we didn't have a budget or anything yet. It was just trying to
Yeah.
figure out like how can I reach more people who actually have an interest in this stuff. And I remembered that Reddit existed, and I'd never used Reddit, but told myself, you know what, I'm going to go check out Reddit. I know it's a popular place, I just don't use it, but I'm going to go look at it. So I went and I looked, and sure enough, there was a detailing subreddit. And I'm like, oh, okay. We got a detailing subreddit here.
It probably doesn't work nowadays, but back then, as far as doctors hate him, one crazy trick. Yeah, my whole Reddit trick, although you can't really call it a trick because it was actually just hard work and basic intuition, paid off. But nowadays, I think things are a little more difficult in terms of the landscape we operate in. Whatever the new platform is that appears that people will gravitate towards, I don't know right now. I know most people have pretty much flocked to TikTok for like the growth potential and all that kind of stuff. But long story short, on the Reddit front, I basically found that as my avenue into accessing people who were inaccessible when they were on all these other like localized forums for like different product types or different car types and stuff. And everybody has to, you're not a vouched for member, then you're like grayed out in the background, whatever. Reddit was just kind of a free for all, so it was a little easier to reach people that way. But just being helpful and answering people's questions and not shilling to them goes a long way. So that was a really big one for me. But yeah, no, that was a big part of it. I like to answer questions on Reddit, if nothing more than problem solving and keeping my knowledge sharp. Yeah, Scott, you can almost treat it like, if nothing else, like people do Sudoku puzzles and stuff like that. I'm not one of those people, but for those who do, yeah, it's a good opportunity for that kind of thing to just find reasons to keep your brain, your neurons firing and figuring out, problem solving skills, because like any other muscle, if you don't exercise it, it's eventually just going to start to atrophy. So yeah, force yourself to think. It doesn't always have to be thinking about the same things at all times. As a matter of fact, variety is good. Although, for those who have ADHD or something along those lines, well, variety is more of a necessity than anything else. It's just hard to focus, latch down onto anything. But yeah, no, it goes off a tangent there. But yeah, the main point behind the Reddit thing was just finding a way to access people and help them so you made a good impression while not necessarily saying you were selling anything, but also being clear you're a company by your name. So if people ask, then you can have that conversation, but not starting with that, because people hate when you just start with like, buy my shit. It's not a good look. Nobody likes that. At least, nobody on the receiving end.
People can appeal to people, win them over that way, and then they'll decide, oh, that.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
So, spoiler alert.
Yeah, I saw
Wild.
their two-part spray coating. That looks very interesting.
A lot of sketchy scenarios. Sometimes I also watch like weird YouTube set up like blind dating shows that go horribly wrong that are funny.
Yeah, we'll
Sometimes
leave
I'm
those
watching-
for YouTube.
Yeah, Jamie didn't want to touch that with a 10-foot pole. That's okay. That's my job here, because sometimes I want to watch things that have nothing to do with cars, nothing to do with detailing. It's just human interactions, because I don't know, for right or for wrong, put me in the camp of people who are happy, just like if you're on a vacation and you find like a cool bench in the middle of like a busy square or something, just go sit down, observe the world around you, like see what people are up to. I know like Levi likes doing this too, and Anthony really enjoys it too. I think we're like-minded in that way, where it's people watching. but it's not like creepy voyeuristic people watching in the sense that like you have some ulterior motive for why you're watching them kind of thing, outside of the fact that you're just curious, like how people function when they don't think anybody's watching. Like, okay, you're just out in a public place. Oh, you know, somebody did something, you know, wrong. Are you going to call them out for it? Or are you just going to let it go and pretend you didn't see? All kinds of interesting things happen in a public square or something, you know, equivalent to that. And it's especially interesting when you're in a, you know, a different cultural environment maybe than what you're used to. Like maybe it's not in your particular hometown or anything like that, but you're overseas, you're in a different state, you know, you're somewhere else, and you plop yourself down and you just kind of sit back and watch the world go by and see how people interact with each other. It's interesting. And yeah, no, I'm definitely a firm believer, and you can get a lot from just, you know, spending some time sitting on a park bench and yeah, watching the world go by and just seeing how people treat other people. You don't need reality TV to do that. What else? So anyway, my whole gist here, now that I say I got a handful of people on here, which is great. I see you've been notified. I'm glad to see that. How many of you watching right now were notified by Twitch that I went live? And how many of you are current followers of me versus somebody maybe who's new, who doesn't follow this channel yet? I'd just be curious to see what people, you know, thought of that, because I did not notify anybody that I was going live this afternoon. This is just meant to be kind of a short one. Like I was saying at the top, I was just kind of saying that I wanted to put it out there, see if the notifications work. If they don't, I guess I'll have to go back to the habit of promote, throw it out there, let people know. But yeah, if you got a notification, raise your hand, send an emoji, something. Notified by Twitch current follower. Good call, Dan. And Scott, I'm assuming you follow and you got the notification, so that's a good sign. But yeah, so I just want to throw that out there and get kind of a straw poll to see where people are at. But I think that's enough of that. I just wanted to say, follow Jamie the Cleaner over there. Follow Alex Dewar, a.k.a. Bucky VW. He's a wonderful guy. Jamie's a wonderful guy, and I really enjoyed being on their podcast yesterday, the Cleaner Cast. So yeah, go check out Jamie the Cleaner's channel. It looks like this when you're on YouTube. Okay, man. Man's been throwing the shorts out like crazy. Okay, yeah, you're getting a few views on there, Jamie. Good job. Good job. Okay, followed a while ago. Tapped on notification as soon as it popped up. Well, hey, thanks. I really appreciate that. Cool. So it looks like the notifications are working to a degree. Obviously, since I have 40 some odd people following now, and informed all of them, but you know, a lot of people are probably busy too, so I don't expect them to pop in right away. Anyway, that's enough talk about that. Let's move on to the next matter at hand. Oh yeah, I was going to show you guys, if you didn't know and you're interested, over on the TRC channel, I had them release a video today, this morning, around 9 Mountain Time, where we are, that covers, well, basically our trip to Switzerland. Something kind of fun. I'm gonna adjust that mic. Hopefully that works to a degree. I don't want it. Yeah. Anyway, this is just silly. I'm figuring it out, guys. Bear with. Okay. So now that I've got that worked out, kind of, maybe, sort of, ish. Okay. Good enough. Now I can sit a little closer. So yeah, basically we went to Switzerland and we didn't tell people why until way later, which, you know, was only just this week. And it's because we went to a really interesting coding production facility, lab, all that stuff. But yeah, we released a video about our time there and trying out the Pro line of products, which is not what was released, but what will be coming in the probably not too distant future. So yeah, we basically had ourselves a little bit of fun while we were there. They let us wear lab coats. I'm not Elmer Fudd. But yeah, let me just play a little bit of that for you. Sebastian did the edit on this one. Shout out to him. He's one funny dude.
Oh man, being a scientist is hard work today. Ready for some lunch. I'm gonna put my pizza right here in this little microwave. Oh, Roberto, so could you show me how to use this? 'Cause
Yeah, but you
it
don't-
must be some sort of European microwave, right?
Well, first of all, don't ever warm up pizzas in a microwave.
Oh, okay.
Because it sucks.
Hey guys, it's Anthony here with the Rag Company.
I think most people are just very alarmed when they see Anthony without his glasses on. It's like something is wrong and you can't quite pinpoint it, and then it's there screaming in your face, oh my god, put on your glasses. Anyway, that's the intro to this guy. I'm not going to show you the whole video because you should just go watch it yourself. But yeah, report back after you have a chance to watch it, either today, tomorrow, some other time. Let me know what you thought. But I think it's an interesting little peek there. And obviously, for those who don't know my day job, I'm the guy behind the camera in all these. So usually I'm having interactions with everybody, but just in case you weren't aware, yes, I am present. I'm literally the one holding the camera that is doing the shooting here. So yeah, that was just a little heads up for everybody to go check that out. And yeah, leave it to Anthony to play with jugs on camera. The man can't help himself. He just sees like beakers and stuff and he wants to immediately go play with it. When he found out there was a mixing machine that used pure like magnetic forces and stuff and didn't actually use a stir stick, he was all over that. Those are fun to play with. Anyway, you get the idea. So yeah, go check it out over at the Rag Company channel. Closing that, I also saw this pop up. Now this is just a short little video, but I was curious about it because apparently somebody had a real different way of dropping their boat off in the water at a lake. And funny enough, it showed up in some local Facebook group or something because Idaho, up at Bear Lake. But yeah, Rivians interest me. I like the R1T. I think it's a really freaking cool truck. So yeah, I just wanted to watch this video. I've only seen screenshots. I haven't actually seen the video in action, so I'm just curious to see what it looks like rolling through. But I think it does something normal trucks would consider kind of dumb, unless you have a snorkel. Yeah, lady, get your blanket cheese.
Bad karma.
A kid just say bad karma. I also noticed just looking at it, I can already tell that the Rivian is in one of its higher settings. It has a really advanced air suspension with some like crazy, I think Multimatic makes this stuff for it, but it is like super advanced suspension components and electronics there. But it is designed to be able to ford pretty substantial amount of water. I want to say it's like, is it 34 inches of water, 36 inches of water, or is it more than that? It's a lot. That's what I remember. But yeah, Scott, so you only have a slight misunderstanding. So I did put a deposit on a Rivian that was like $1,000, and I did that long while back, like a year plus. So I was locked in at the lower pricing and all that stuff before they ever did the big price jump and all that, which, you know, as a company that's kind of like a startup and all that stuff, you expect things to become more expensive or change or have whatever, but usually you just hope if you're early enough of an adopter that they'll grandfather you in on some stuff. But on that front, yes, I did have a deposit on the Rivian, and unfortunately, when it came time for me to kind of figure out what I was doing with my life at that moment, I actually pulled it after a little while because I ended up selling the truck I won, using the proceeds, which were originally going to go towards Rivian, but I was going to continue living in my old house, which was fine. It was just, you know, it's nothing remarkable, but it had been a good house for me for like a decade plus. And instead, I took the approach of, well, maybe I should try and take an opportunity to look around and see what houses are available. Maybe there's something out there that might interest me. The problem is I don't have taste that's expensive on purpose. It's just the things that appeal to me in certain houses you can only find in like really expensive houses. And I don't like them because they're expensive. That's not why I like that. It's just some certain construction techniques and things you don't find in more, I guess, ordinary cookie cutter Rambler style houses. So yeah, usually I'm drawn to mid-century modern stuff or things with like super big floor to ceiling windows. Obviously, that's kind of an HVAC nightmare when you're trying to heat and cool a house that has giant glass and all that stuff. But it's what appeals to me aesthetically. And like cantilevered, rooms on multi-level stuff. Like I like all that kind of stuff, but it's usually the things you just see in like architectural porn magazines and stuff like that. So obviously I don't expect to find myself in something like that anytime soon. So there's a bit of a gap between what I could afford and what I really like truly wanted. But the house that I'm in right now is actually the house I ended up buying with the money that would have gone towards the Rivian, and I'm really glad I did it. I got lucky. I timed the market unintentionally. I timed the market really, really well, because all of the home values were ballooning up in the area. Everything was shooting up, and it was getting really hard to afford anything. But I did it at the beginning of the year, the end of last year, so like right in that time frame where the interest rates and everything were still really low. They were still at their historic lows and stuff, but that's not the case anymore. If I were to try and do that today, it would be such a different story. Everything would be way more expensive just in the interest rates and all that stuff. Wouldn't be fun at all. So long story short, yes, I did have a deposit on the Rivian. No, I do not have it anymore because I'm living in the house that resulted from the proceeds that would have gone towards the Rivian. Yeah, real estate is much more likely to appreciate in value. Smart move for sure. And I'm not a real estate guy. It's not like I have land over all these places. I just happen to really like the house. And for me, it's all about location. Super obvious thing to anybody who pays attention to any real estate, but location was really important to me. I'm in a very desirable part of Boise now by being in this house. And it's like 3/4 of an acre in the area. So it's a lot of land compared to what I had before, which was much smaller. And yeah, I mean, the house I have here is still not like huge or anything, but it has a really great view, has a fun, deck that wraps around. I can, see out every which way. Nature's close. I really like it. So yeah, for me, it was the right choice and I don't regret it one bit. But yeah, it was one of those kind of tricky things where you kind of wonder like, is this the right idea? Is this going to pay off? Is this going to be something I'm going to regret later? No, I don't regret it at all. The house is, it's not cheap. It's expensive for the area, but at the same time, it's not outlandishly expensive. It's just within my means, but it's one of those things where it was just a matter of, are you going to make the move now, or are you going to have to wait a much longer time before you really are able to do anything like that again? So I saw the opportunity and I took it, and yeah, I don't regret it. But anyway, that's way off base. Here's the Rivian. Let's see how the Rivian does. It looks to be in the highest suspension setting, or at least one of the higher suspension settings, because I know at its max height, it can ford water that's at least 30, maybe even 40 inches deep. I mean, that's very deep, but let's watch. Okay, right up to the bumper. Now, one thing I'm gonna just say right off the bat here, looking at this, that is in a lake, that is a freshwater lake that's here in Idaho. That is not loaded with like salt and stuff like that, which is probably where some people would be absolutely horrified at you driving through any body of water like that up that deep. They're just thinking, oh my God, the corrosion that's going to result from this. If you've ever lived in the Northeast or even driving the beach somewhere, yeah, that's salt water. That stuff is going to chew up the insides of your car, faster than anything. I get it. But in this case, it's fresh water. You don't have to worry about that part. It's just a matter of protecting your actual, your motor and your electronics, which in this case, everything is very well insulated. The truck is designed to ford water up to a point, but like a very extreme point by standard passenger car levels. So compared to a stock truck from any other maker, you'd need to have a snorkel to do what this Rivian can do right out the box, especially because it's electric. It just, one less thing to worry about. But it's always interesting seeing people see how brave they get when they realize they have these capabilities. And yeah, more often than not, people find ways to hurt themselves anyway. We're not using a boat ramp or anything. We're just driving. Oh, there's a dog in the back. How did I not see the dog before? All right, just do your thing.
Stay there, Quinn.
What are they running over, too? You see how it's like bumping over stuff? It must be running over something. But there's no obvious boat ramp here. Like, I would expect to see a dock or something, but it's not ultra shallow, but you're still walking in it, and you can see the people around it. They're not that deep, but that's still pretty far out there. I mean, I feel like you had to drive a long way out just to be able to get your boat to a point where it floats.
Quinn, can you see the truck?
This has got 600,000 views. Okay, now that would be funny, although, just in my brain, where I see that and I go, oh yeah, and then you just watch as the truck backs up a little bit more and a jet skier who's not paying attention just rams right into the side of the truck and flies over it. That was a quick release. All right, now we're really fording. And dog's just chilling. That's gonna create a decent sized wake. Oh, that's fun. Jet skier bailed anyway. And oh no, they're trying at that point. They're really trying. Ate it.
Dog in the back. Empty trailer. There's the boat.
Okay. So that wasn't too exciting, but yeah, no, it's definitely feels a little sketchy to try doing something like that. But hey, I mean, until it backfires, you'll probably see more people doing that kind of thing. We'll just have to wait and see where the horror stories start. Or if problems arise down the road, will those owners be talking on forums? Will they be releasing videos saying, oh, here's my experience after I thought I was okay fording, this deep water with my Rivian? I'm just curious to see if anything comes back to bite them in the butt later. Okay, so this one, I don't know. Okay, that one I'll probably check out later. Drag racing, we've got, okay, we just got a bunch of truck fails. This one, yeah, wouldn't you lose traction? That is a thing I've noticed, at least as freshwater, not saltwater. Yeah, Yoshi, I was talking about that, saying specifically because it's a lake, and it's a known one that, is here in Idaho. There aren't too many saltwater lakes out there, but in this case, definitely a freshwater lake. And yeah, it's not near any kind of ocean or anything like that. It's not the corrosion that's going to be the problem. Just the water finding its way into spots it shouldn't be is going to be the only cause for any real issues that I can see. But then again, they're new vehicles. You don't know if the tolerances are right, on the fasteners and the panels and stuff. Maybe something sneaks through. I don't know. But then again, it's an EV, so you're pretty limited on, actual moving parts that are exposed in that way that are going to be affected in the short term. It's the long term where I'm curious if anything starts to happen to people who do that kind of thing regularly. I noticed this channel called Upflip, and I know nothing about it, but when I was searching for detailing videos and stuff, this one came up. So I was just curious, like what they're doing. This is a long video though. Probably got to save that for my Monday detailing stream later on, obviously this week. And wouldn't you lose traction, says Scott? Yeah. So that was the other thing, was I figure at some point, yeah, you start the vehicle to a degree might be a little bit buoyant. So you start to lose a little bit of traction the further you go back. Obviously, you know, when it's underwater, the traction isn't going to be great. But I think in the Rivian's case, the Rivian is so incredibly heavy. I don't know if you've looked at the actual stats for these things, but the curb weight on them, absolutely nuts. Let me pull up the, yeah. Okay. Holy shit. Yep. That is a lot. So here you will see that the curb weight of the Rivian R1T is 7,148 pounds. So it's going to require a little more than the normal amount of buoyancy. I mean, you're talking about a truck that's a little bit bigger than, say, like a Toyota Tacoma. It kind of falls in between where a Tacoma and then a Tundra would be. It's like closer to a Tacoma, but it weighs as much as like an F350. I'm pretty sure that's what an F350 or like an Excursion weighs. Those might be more like 8,000 or 9,000. The Hummer EV, oh my God, Yoshi, the Hummer EV I think is even heavier. Yeah, holy shit, that is so heavy. Look at that. Look at that. Okay, so I mean, buoyancy maybe in a, you know, standard car like my van weighs just a touch over 4,000 pounds. My Jag weighs right around like 3,900 pounds, something like that. Vehicles like that, okay, the buoyancy, you figure in the tires and stuff, okay, maybe you see that kind of thing. But with the Hummer, oh no, the Hummer with its absolutely ginormous battery pack and stuff, you are weighing. Okay, so let's put it in perspective. So the Hummer weighs a good 1,500 pounds more than the Rivian even does. The Rivian is not light, not by any means. I mean, that's crazy. That's absolutely crazy. So Excursions weigh 7,500 pounds. I fit a 92-inch package wall cabinet in one with the doors closed. That's a good point there, Dan. So yeah, I mean, Excursions when they came out were considered to be like absolute dinosaur humongous. I mean, Suburban was the standard of the day in the 90s for like, oh, big SUV. But when the Excursion came out, it's weird. Like, even though they're technically a one-to-one comparison on paper in terms of who's cross-shopping them and stuff, for the most part, GM didn't offer the diesel in very many Suburbans outside of like military use and stuff like that. Whereas the Excursion you could actually buy with the diesel in it. But yeah, it's very interesting because the Excursion was actually larger in every dimension than the Suburban was. Range Rover Sport is 5,500 pounds, 2012 version. Interesting. Yep. 31-inch tire stock, and the spare was inside the cabin. Okay. Yeah. So let's pull that up. Yeah. Okay, that puts in perspective. So, give or take a little bit, a Rivian R1T weighs the same as a Ford Excursion, which is essentially just a Super Duty Ford, aka a 250 or an F350, with an SUV, you know, back end on it. It's still the body on frame, you know, setup. It's essentially just a Super Duty pickup, but with a different, you know, shell on top. But yeah, that thing weighs a freaking ton. 7.3 diesel came stock without a catalytic converter. Wow, interesting. That, I mean, when they first developed those, that was that would have been like 2000 or 2001. I know that the Super Duty pickups came out like a year or two before the Excursion. In the case of the 250s and the 350s of the Super Duty line, those were, yeah, those would have been around 99 is when they got their facelift and they got the updates and stuff. Like, yeah, 98 or 99 is when they changed them up. I think for the 99 model year. But yeah, that was serious. Same motor was used in school buses of the era. Yeah, no joke. So yeah, Scott, I mean, that kind of puts it in perspective. So yeah, a Range Rover might even experience buoyancy in those cases. But yeah, that is a shit ton of weight. Now this one, I have no idea what's going to happen in this video. I just know it's whatever you see, not clickbait in a title, you're always curious how actually good or bad a video's quality is going to be based on that. It's like, okay, is this channel frequently posting not clickbait stuff, or is it actually going to be Nightmare Neighbor during 100-year-old church sandstone restoration? Okay, so we're doing a little bit of pressure washer porn. Let's see what happens here. Let's check it out. And Anthony just texted me. He wants to meet at 6, which means I've got about 40 or so minutes before I got to get off here. But let's watch and see what this guy's up to.
Give the shit to them back. Fine, don't speak to me like that, yeah? Stay in your house, yeah? Okay, stay in your house then. Morning guys, today is Tuesday. It is about 9 o'clock in the morning, starting a little bit late, but I'm trying to avoid the rush hour. I'm traveling to a church today in Leicester. I've been there before, so a few weeks, maybe a month or two ago on the channel, there was a video of me cleaning the front area of a church. I'm going back to that church today for some repeat work there.
You know, it's so fun to me that channels like this can exist in this day and age. Like, people's interests are so all over the place that even when you have a niche as deep as I go around and I clean windows, or I pressure wash concrete or bricks or stuff, there is a community that supports that. There's 122,000 subscribers to this channel. There are 21,000 upvotes on this video. What happens in this video? I don't know yet. All I know is what the title says. But it just amazes me that there's people out there who can make videos like this and people tune in and they watch, and they watch in good numbers. It's just so interesting. More power to them.
Really old sandstone, really delicate, and really, really filthy. So I'm going to clean that today. So I've got a nice hour drive ahead of me, but it is what it is. I'll see you guys when I get there. Hope you enjoy the video. And thanks for watching, as always.
Yeah, Dan, I kind of figured that was why they switched engines.
Tea or coffee? I'd have a tea, please. That'd be amazing. Just milk and 1 sugar for me, please. Okie dokie. Right, so I think I might start with a...
Also, any of you watching here, I know some of you are, detailers, obviously. You recognize any of that equipment back there? Does that look like anything you would use in your shops?
Open stones on top of here. Yeah. I mean, look, it's not in the best condition, but we'll do the best with it. I would like to get that, but yeah, I should be able to reach that. Yeah, it's going to be a long day, folks, I think. Should be a fun one, though. And so it's jobs like these that I've got this deadlock fitted on the van. I'll get some fuel out first, because I'm going to be working over there most of the time, and there's no way for me to keep check, so no one can really squeeze through the back and steal anything.
Have fun at the concert.
But this side door, obviously they can, so I've had this lock fitted on here, because I don't have a lock-in thing on this side of the door.
Also, Bush is playing there. That's rad. Speaking of, if any of you have watched on Netflix the Woodstock '99 documentary, that thing is wild. Like, I knew the general story about what happened then and stuff, because obviously around that time I was just becoming a teenager, so I was a little too young to have gone to that. If I were, around at the time to do that, I would have been, I would have been like 11. But still, just seeing it and play out is so funny, but so dark and awful at times. You're just going, oh my God, I can't believe the organizers were cool with this, or I can't believe people put up with this as long as they did, until they didn't, and then the result of that is insane. But if you haven't watched it, it's on Netflix. Anybody can go and watch that if they have a Netflix account. It's totally worth watching. It's like broken into 3 parts, like 3 episodes essentially, but it's just it's a documentary, but it's kind of broken into parts to fit a given part of the story. And yeah, it's just crazy.
So yeah, all right, let's get some
But the reason I said that was because Bush, the band, is actually in it, so that was fun.
fuel in and let's go. Basically, I'm probably going to be using around 90 bar on this job. I don't want to use too much again. Look, I mean, you know, it's all cracked, so we may have a few casualties today, but I'm going to use as low pressure as possible.
Yeah, they'll be
and
mad if you
150
blow
degree
that
steam.
off.
If I went full power with this, yeah, it would absolutely destroy it. And obviously this is a listed building, it's historical, so we do not want to be doing that, folks.
Now, considering that this man is in the UK, presumably, 150 degrees, does he mean Celsius or does he mean Fahrenheit? Because Celsius, that would be very hot. Yeah, Dan. That's the way to say it. Just enjoy your bush. Swallow. Lot of overspray. Not like you could really help it though. Once again, this is like the most entertaining thing this side of watching paint dry, and yet there are people out there who watch this stuff and watch it ferociously. So I'm not trying to subject you to the whole video of this, but I'm just watching the beginning here to get a sense of like, okay, what's the setup? But I may skip around in this because it's 20 minutes long, and let's be real, it's somebody pressure washing some bricks. So, you know, we'll get to where the action is. As a matter of fact, highlighting this this time bar here, if I scroll forward, there's a point where it goes most replayed, because YouTube says that stuff now. You can actually see the part where activity spikes a lot. So apparently, the real activity happens a little later. I'm guessing it's like he mentioned at the beginning, somebody doesn't like that the water is reaching their windows. So an altercation, perhaps, leading up. We'll skip ahead.
Look at these, lovely and clean. Now I do want to do these things.
Does look a lot
on the
better.
top there. I'm just a little bit wary about the traffic. A bit of an awkward one, as I've said the last time I was here, to do certain things. Obviously I'm going to stand on the path to try and clean that. And I'm going to be blowing crap all over the cars. There's red lights right there. The cars get backed up. There's a bus stop. There's people standing at the bus stop, which obviously I don't want to get soaked.
Well, yeah, plus your business name is plastered all over the side of your car, so you're kind of, I don't know, you're advertising that fact to everybody where they look and go, oh yeah, never hire that guy. He sucks. He sprayed my car with all his filthy ass water.
So it's a bit of a tricky one. I do really want to clean it though, because you know it's going to look amazing. But we'll see. I'm just going to have a quick break, do the other wall. I'll time lapse all that for you, and then I'll get started on the front. So yeah, God, it's coming up too nice. Like, it's unusual, isn't it, when something's too nice?
This kind of stuff is satisfying though. Just make an animated GIF of it, and you're good. Oh god, Dan, he did. He sprayed them all with traffic film. The worst thing you can do, humanly possible.
Can you stop shouting at me, yeah? I'm cleaning this. It's on the side. I can't clean down when it's on the side.
The hard part is, like, I kind of get where this dude is coming from. Granted, if you're going to be pissy about it, you're not really going to start the conversation off on a good foot. Even if you're mad about something, unless it's something where, like, somebody's committing a literal like actual horrible act or assault or something like that. Like, you want to make sure and approach the situation in a way that's commensurate with how you think the other person is going to react. So if you can meet them on a reasonable level, you can avoid escalating where there doesn't need to be escalation. That would be preferable, at least in my shoes, to avoid creating a hostile scenario, more so than simply having a disagreeable conversation. When it turns into somebody's already just like shooting their trap off like that, yeah, I mean, it's a little difficult because they've already escalated before you even had an opportunity to establish any kind of rapport. And by that point, it's hard because if you go too soft and you're too like, oh, agreeable, oh, okay, and you just keep doing what you're doing, like I'm guessing he's going to do, then that person just gets more pissed off because you being calm makes them more enraged because they're not getting a response in kind where you get mad back at them. Things I expect to see on the street in New York kind of thing. But, you know, it's the classic, fuck you, you know, kind of deal. But in this case, I don't know. I don't see that going this way. This guy seems fairly chill. Not the guy yelling at him right now, but the camera guy. So I don't know if he's going to be like, oh, okay, and change what he's doing based on this text. I don't think he's going to change what he's doing, but we'll see.
It's water. I don't need 1 minute, mate. Stay in your house.
Stay in your house.
Yeah, it's water that's going on the window, yeah? That's it. What? No, I don't need to listen. What you do? You're shouting at me. What does it do? What do you do? Well, that's what you're doing. But it's water. There is. You don't need to shout to me. There's spray that goes on the window. Give the shit to them back. It's water. Do you?
I mean, he did this guy a courtesy by covering his face, but
That's fine. Don't speak to me like that, yeah? Stay in your house, yeah? Okay, stay in your house then.
But what does that have to do with any of this?
Okay, you're making it a religion thing, yeah? All right, bye-bye. There you go, guys. Hope you caught.
Or I wonder if he was doing that because this is presumably like a Christian church or something like that. Like, it turns into this weird adversarial thing that totally doesn't need to exist.
So there's a certain type of people out there, right, that they get very aggressive. It's a certain type of bloke, right, and they get really aggressive and think they're really hard, really tough. I think they can talk down to people and bully people and come and shout at people that are trying to do a job, right? And as soon as they get some back, that's it, they run off back inside the house. So yeah, if anyone wants any advice how to deal with people like that when you're working, when you just get neighbours that are just rude and aggressive, don't stand for it, don't apologise to them. If someone's swearing at you and shouting at you, there's no reason you should be saying, oh, sorry mate, sorry, won't do it again, mate. It's ridiculous. People need to learn some manners. So I've had to sort of stop there. I mean, I don't mind having an argument with him, but it's just, I don't know whether he wants people to see. Yeah.
I don't mind having an argument with him. All right, point being, let's see if we get any kind of before and after stuff here. Okay, so he's making a point of saying he's using heated water, and that's what's helping with the process here. But granted, the cleaned out concrete and stuff looks cool. It looks nice and fresh and new and all that. Although I do think there's a certain degree of character when you let stuff just not decay, but have a little bit of like lichen or moss or whatever on it. It just kind of, I don't know. I find it makes certain things like an old church or something look interesting. Although it also kind of makes it look like a place you may not want to hang around too long if, you know, gets dark outside and there's no lights around and it gets a little spooky and Jamie the cleaner shows up with his ghost videos. You know the deal. Anyway, I think we firmly established that there's some degree to which this is satisfying and some degree to which this will put you to sleep. As I've noticed, the viewer count has very firmly dropped off. I think everybody's gone now, so I'm glad this worked. It wasn't really meant to be a very long stream today anyway, but kind of the polar opposite of what I did last week. All right, so let's see what he says here at the end. I think it's dirty enough to merit a pressure washing. Yeah, no, I agree.
Okay, folks, that is the...
I just also happen to like, at least when it comes to photography, I like super moody looking buildings with like a lot of buildup of just, you know, kind of the green moss, and I guess you could say it looks like decay, but I think it's more interesting, pretty than that in its own kind of way when it's done well. But I don't know. Maybe I kind of like the the gothic horror look sometimes. Other times not so much. But yeah, in this case, the church probably just wanted to have their stuff cleaned so that it looked more inviting. And because this building is on a historic register, according to those guys, then yeah, this is probably someplace they want to keep looking fresh whenever tourists show up, that kind of stuff.
The front done for now. Obviously, I presume we'll be coming back to do all of that. You just need to speak to the people. As I said, because of it's such a difference, it's going to completely change the way it looks. So he's going to speak to the parish in general, and they're going to figure that out from there. But this wall came up great. Let's take you around. All of that came up loads better than it was as well. Star of the show is definitely this wall. This came up. What an absolute transformation on this. Good, but I didn't think it...
Okay, presumably he says something when he goes back in the van.
I don't think I'd like to live around here. No offence to anyone that's in Leicester, of course. It's all done. Yes, I know I've got no t-shirt on. I'm covered in sand. It was like scratching my skin. It's gone all inside my top. It's in my pants. It's everywhere. So.
Way to end the video. A degree of wear and dirt removes the sterility that makes some things bland. Yes, agreed. All right, let's see. I love this guy's channel, Fillion. He's very interesting. Then let's see. We got this cool channel, How Money Works. Like those. Influencer bubble. Oh no, we better show that to Anthony. Or streaming is a dystopian nightmare. I might want to save that for when I actually have more people watching. But hey, Dan, you want to watch this? Let's watch Fillion. All right. Well, that's 17 minutes. That's actually a little more than I've got time for, unfortunately. So I got to pick something shorter. Gordon's always good with the channel F Spot. Those are fun. You know what? Let's take the short route. Let's just watch some hill climb monsters, and then later tonight I may pop back up on here, or I may be hitting the high seas. We'll see how things go. But yeah, I know I've got to go shoot that video with Jimmy and Anthony in about half an hour. So that includes my driving over, which means I'll have to leave here in like 10, 15 minutes. But yeah, let's just watch some hill climb videos. How's that? Then we'll wrap it up. Then we'll come back later when we're fresh and ready, and I can notify more people and let them know what's up. And I'll probably do some more streaming tomorrow, where I've got a chance to spend a little bit more time. I can pick some interesting stuff. I always like when people actually submit things as well. So yeah, no, I appreciate that, Dan. We'll just watch something straightforward here, and then when we want to get philosophical and watch some like more deep dive stuff, I'll probably do that later tonight, or more likely tomorrow. So anyway, let's just watch some cool and loud cars with way too much power rip their way up a hill. That is so loud. Jeez. That much noise, and it's making 185 horsepower. Granted, it's at 13,000 RPM, so that's a liter bike engine. That's an engine straight out of like some kind of high performance motorcycle. I'm guessing Honda, Yamaha, Suzuki, one of those, maybe. Yeah, 1 liter. Thing is ripping. proportions are so goofy on that. Oh, that's it right there. Suzuki GSX. So it's a Gixxer motor. Okay, that makes sense. And he's asking me to go to Walmart and buy walkie-talkies. Crying out loud. All right. I'm going to keep the video playing while I respond. Don't worry, Dan. Ooh, a 306. That looks good. Wide body on that? Oh, Dan, I'm not going to cut out yet. I just need to see if it's something he actually needs or not. I was gonna say it sounded like a 6-cylinder, but an inline 3 makes sense. Wow, that's a lot of power coming out of a little turbo 3. Oh man, what's he saying? Okay, he and Jimmy are going back and forth now. Anyway, I'm gonna skip ahead. It's all Peugeots right now. Oh snap. Look at this little guy. Naturally aspirated, okay. Okay, I know I'm looking for like a... I swear I've seen some absolutely insane ones on this channel before. They go. Oh, yeah, let's watch that. I mean, it's all-wheel drive. It's hard to screw up. Ooh. That was a close one. Oh, my guy. Ugh. Yeah. Yikes. RS6. Holy shit. That guy literally conformed his legs backwards into the shape of the side of the car in order to avoid getting hit by it. Damn it, these Audis are threatening lives out here. Look at this shit. I'm gonna play it back slowly because that is so close. Jesus. Yeah, I mean, that looks like the hair of a man who almost got hit. That shit is ready to fly off the back of his head. All right, back to normal speed. That was, maybe it's just because of the focal distance, the camera lens that's being used here makes them look closer than they were, but I'm pretty sure that they were actually incredibly close, and it's justified to feel like that shit was way too close. I mean, damn. Oh. Expected. Fix, yo. Well, anyway. Driver mod, please. Oh, my guy. Way to go. Jesus, loser. I mean, you're rear-wheel drive, you're a very short wheelbase. Yeah, you're going to be prone to spinning. But when you huck it like that, it's almost guaranteed. And if you don't know how to counter properly... That sounded expensive. Ready to just ram right up the butt of that Miata. Whoa, shit. And what do you want? Oh my God, that's a Project 8. Sick. Now, what do you want to bet all those guys in that last video are just a bunch of like wannabe influencers all filming themselves as they take off like in their squad, and the whole thing just feels very cringy and embarrassing and sad. Kind of overshot there. Something I would expect from somebody who wraps their entire car in camo. And I do love a good E39 M5. That's nice. He went a little off course there, but fortunately there were no rocks there. Otherwise, this camera lens would almost certainly get shattered. Yeah, ran out of talent early. E90 M3, ripping it up. Ripping and a tearing. Wow, just about sailed into those trees there, champ. Way to go with the Portofino. Okay. This ain't it. Granted, this is a very Eurocentric compilation, but still. Doing a pretty good job bringing it together. Oh, look, another M2 that screwed up. Sail. I'm just gonna drive the other way and pretend it didn't happen. Okay, let's try take 2 and go. Yeah, we didn't goose it that time. Much better. So that's the second time we see somebody in an RS6 fry something most likely related to the transmission, the drive shaft, something is blown out there. Maybe a diff got destroyed. Yeah, you're not going anywhere fast now. You're just way off the track there, my guy. Speciale. Sir? You're stuck on a parking bollard, sir. The bullet stang. With the European taillights. I was so excited to be in my Mustang. You're in a place where they're very uncommon, and now I'm gonna drive the wrong way down a one-way. Oh boy. I was like waiting for somebody to get squirrely right in front of that cop. You know it's about to be good when the license plate is blurred right as the clip starts. Wait, was there a moment where it wasn't? Oh yeah, you can see that if you're okay. Oh, you would have been such a dick if you took out those motorcyclists right there. Yikes. Yeah, just, you know, pop some bags. Don't tell me you're gonna break stuff again. Oh no. Let's hear that very expensive sound again. Yeah. Oh, oh. Oh my guy. You had a pretty decent recovery there. And actually, like, by BMW Z3 standards, I'm not wild about the rubber band tires, but I think that one looks pretty good. It's a shame he drove it like an idiot. Just a feeling of that very large wheel and very little sidewall hitting that curb. The first part I was like, oh, he managed to avoid it, good for him. And then the back swung around like a freaking pendulum. Oh. Oh no, don't do it. Don't do it, bro. Don't show off. She's in the car, but you don't need to show off. That's when the turbos kicked in. Okay. We've got our little A3. Oh, S3 in this case. God, that sounds so shitty. It sounds like a friggin' lawnmower / weed eater. What the hell is going on? And then a V70 gets in your way. Yep. Go back to what you're doing. Alright, here we go. And are you gonna eat it right into a tree? Kind of feel like you are. Or a field. Or a branch falls down in front of you. Fun, nature getting in on the action. 997. Oh. Gonna scrape again? That what's gonna happen? Oh, this is where that Z3 ate it. I think the ground is a little bit slick there, just maybe. Skoda. Oh. Ugh. Oh no, I'm aware of how launch control generally works on cars, but that particular one sounded atrocious. Like, used to the fart noises and stuff, but it was the tone of it felt really off. It didn't sound like the motor that was in it. It sounded like it was misfiring. It had like a bad cylinder or something. It sounded so off. This is clearly at the Nürburgring. All right, bud. Get back on there. Try again. Oh no, TT. Oh, don't hit my Jag. Could you get any closer? Oh, sick. Vauxhall VX220. Or is it 200? I can't remember now. All I know is it's a Vauxhall VX, and it's basically sharing a lot of its architecture with the Lotus Elise of the day. Oh, blow it. Like, it just sounded constipated. Like it's like, I'm good, and then nothing. And then, oh, there's people still looking, still trying, but it's just embarrassing at that point. Move on. Yup. Oi, bruv. We're the Matt Green crew. Why do they call us that? No particular reason. Fake AMG badges all over. Ooh, FF. Yeah. Get it. I would have been really surprised if the TT was the one who screwed it up for everybody, because I'm like, dude, you got all-wheel drive. It's practically a handicap. Ooh, Nürburgring Edition LFA. Nice. I mean, just to hear it. That part gets enough vote. And on that bombshell, I'm afraid it's time for us to conclude the festivities, because I got a job to do hanging out with Jimmy and Anthony shooting a cool new car video. And yeah, we'll see how that goes. So anyway, we'll get all the skinny. I'll talk to you guys about it later, probably tomorrow. But yeah, if you're watching sometime in the future, maybe that stream's going on right now. That's why you should follow me, get those notifications. See what I did there? Okay, so anyway, I'm going to start playing that music again. We're going to bring it back. It's going to be a little bit quieter, though. And yeah, that's pretty much going to round us out. So until next time, thanks for watching. And Dan, you're out there right now. Have yourself a wonderful night. I may be streaming on the high seas later. We'll just see how things go. But yeah, it's been a good time. So thanks again. I'll see you later.